Tennessee led 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, outscored 31-7 the rest of the way. We know about defense in the middle of the field. We've talked and wrote about all that. I want to talk offense. Offensively, Brent, what went wrong for Tennessee in the final three quarters?
Oh, I think Georgia, after that first drive, said, you know what? We're not worried so much about you throwing it over our heads. Okay, so we're not gonna give you a chance to try to. We're gonna try to limit the chances of doing that. We're gonna ramp it up and bring pressure. We're gonna squat a little bit more. We're gonna walk our corners up. We're not gonna give you some of these easy access throws that Tennessee had on that opening drive. We're gonna try to take that away, and we're gonna heat the quarterback up. We can't win this game playing it any other way. And I think when you go back and look, I mean, Nico was not sacked on the opening drive. I mean, other than the one scramble that he did a really good job on to get the first down, I don't know that he was really pressured much on the first drive. But after that, the pressure was there, and it was very different. I think Georgia just got super aggressive after that opening drive and just said, "Hey, we're not going to play that way. We may not be as good in the secondary as we've been, but we're going to take our chances with our secondary by using our front seven to get to you and not give you the chances to hit anything developing down the field."
Rob, Tennessee scored on its opening possession. It had a 27-yard touchdown run in the second quarter by Dylan Sampson where he was untouched. Boo Carter set up Tennessee with great field position. The Vols settled for a 51-yard field goal there, sandwiched in between. What changed second quarter on, or really, I guess, second half where they were shut out? What changed for that offense?
Well, I mean, I think Hubbard nailed it. I mean, I probably couldn't have, described it as well as he could on a granular level, but just to me, I overrated it big time. And Tennessee's wide receivers, man, just did not make plays. People are frothing at the mouth at Nico. I mean, if you can show me a bunch of guys he missed, I'll shake your hand. I mean, I don't think he had a lot of help. I mean, you think about the ball Dante Thornton dropped. I mean, that's not even a big time play. I mean, that's if they're just buying your books, you need to catch that one. And to me, I thought Tennessee would just have guys be, Brew McCoy break a tackle, Dante Thornton, get deep, get behind somebody and make a contested play on the ball. To me, and that didn't really change, Eric. To me, that's just that's what I guess, like Hubbard saying, I think Georgia just either realized that we're dare Tennessee to do it, and that's the matchup. Georgia's secondary, because they may be super talented and they are with guys like KJ Bolden, but they're still young outside of Malachi Starks. I mean, that's not like a long in the tooth veteran secondary that is just going to overwhelm you with experience. I mean, that was a matchup that I really thought Tennessee would not just beat Georgia over the head with, but could really make some plays, and they just did not. I mean, not a single explosive play over 20 yards, and that to me, the lack of sacks for a killer, but not having a single pass play over 20 yards. If you'd have told me that going in, I'm surprised Tennessee kept it as close as they did.
Also, you look at defense, middle of the field, we made note of that. It felt like it all started up front. Tennessee wasn't generating pressure. They were max protecting earlier in the football game. They adjusted, went away from that. And it felt like, Hubs and I talked about this on the rewind, it felt like the motion, they were scheming it up to go at, Will Brooks or a specific player at points in times in this football game. What did you see on that was different from Tennessee's defense that's been, that's not the defense that we've seen all year long?
Well, I feel like the linebacker play is been a touchdown the last few weeks. So I think that, kind of continued in this game. Tennessee's lack of pressure with the front four. I didn't feel like Tennessee blitzed a whole lot. I felt like they tried to get home, with just your four down linemen a bunch, and they just weren't able to do it. And then, the safety play was poor. I thought Jermon McCoy played okay. I thought Ricky Gibson played pretty well. But this is a defense that, again, just picked the wrong week to have, a bad game. And I don't think it was just one in particular unit. I thought, just as a whole, they struggled.
So for Tennessee, how do you fix some of these things we're talking about right now, knowing there's only 2 regular season games left? How do you fix that? I mean, is this more of off-season stuff? Is this more new year? I know you're kind of are who you are in some aspects, but Brent, how do you fix this stuff going forward to be a better football team for the last 2 games and then hopefully, some games in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, I think up front you just got to play better. I mean, you're a veteran group. You just didn't play your best, and you didn't have to play superhuman, but you had to play well up front. And Tennessee did not play well up front. They got blocked. Josh Heupel said that in his Monday press conference. Got blocked. Didn't get off blocks, weren't disruptive enough, didn't play in the backfield. They did a nice job against the run, but Georgia's not a very good running team. You could not let Carson Beck get comfortable. And once he threw the 38-yard pass to Dominic Lovett, where James Pierce jumped off sides and Tennessee somehow just kind of let that ball get in there with three guys around Lovett, Carson Beck was a different football player. We talk about Nico's growth since the scramble at Alabama. In that particular game, that was the play that got Carson Beck comfortable and got him rolling. And he was really good after that. And Tennessee didn't do anything to make him uncomfortable. I think you got to be aggressive. You got to blitz some. Maybe simplify. I don't know if they're asking their linebackers to do too much. Do you have a little paralysis by analysis out there? I don't know. I mean, Keenan Peely's not walking back through the door. They played enough games without Keenan Peely right now that you ought to be able to play and be okay, and not be totally confused there. I give Georgia credit. I mean, they attacked some areas where I'm surprised Tennessee hasn't been attacked the last couple of weeks more than what they have been. And Georgia took full advantage of that. I can promise you UTEP's going to try to throw it to the tight end in the middle of the field on Saturday, right? They're going to try to do some things with multiple tight ends and motions and shifts to try to get you misaligned and try to get some favorable matchups. You got to get after the quarterback, and you're going to have to get after the quarterback against Vanderbilt, which is a bit of a challenge because he runs around. But, I mean, you got to get back to your identity up front, and Tennessee's not played as well up front the last 3 weeks as they did early in the year. They got to play better.
So Tennessee and UTEP coming up this weekend. It'll be senior day on Rocky Top, and then, of course, Tennessee will finish the regular season at Vanderbilt the following week. And we'll see exactly what the playoff committee is going to say later tonight and, of course, next week and all that and more. Tennessee still a whole lot in front of them. And, depending on what happens over the next 2 weeks, maybe playoff bound. So we'll have to see.